Welcome to Train Move Play's dumbbell workout to fight bone loss and weight gain. After watching this, we hope you'll go to trainmoveplay.com for the printable guide and more technique and instructions. We'll start today with chest fly. Lying on a bench with dumbbells hovering over your chest, go ahead and open both arms as wide as possible and then close them again. Keep your elbows slightly bent and let the weight of the dumbbells pull your arms toward the ground so that you get a nice stretch across the chest. If this is a little bit too intense, another version of this exercise can be done by bending the elbows. Open with straight arms, bend your elbows to bring your dumbbells close to your chest and then push them toward the ceiling. This will lower the intensity of the exercise just a bit, but allow you to keep using a pretty heavy weight and get that chest stretch that we're looking for. You can also just drop the weight as Martin has done here. Go for straight arms, again with slightly bent elbows, and let gravity pull just the weight of your arms to get that nice stretch across the chest. Moving on to reverse fly. It's the opposite of the chest fly, so we'll start with dumbbells together and low under the body. Relax your head completely, relax your neck, and let your body just rest on your thighs. So we're sitting at the very edge of a bench, a stool, or a chair. Lift your arms straight out to the sides and lower back down. If that's a little bit too intense, we can again bend our elbows. This time, bend your elbows on the way up, extend, and lower with straight arms back down. And reverse fly can also be done without any weight at all. Squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top, lifting and lowering straight arms. Again, keep your head and neck as relaxed as possible. We'll move on to Cuban rotation. So sitting on a bench or a stool, prop your elbow on your knee, so we're really isolating that upper arm bone. And then we're gonna lower the dumbbell toward the bench or stool and lift it back up, just moving the lower arm bone. You can go ahead and extend that lower arm bone past your starting point, so rotate from the shoulder as much as possible, both at the top and the bottom. Keep your spine straight and your neck and jaw relaxed. If the dumbbell is a bit much, but you still want to use some resistance, find a resistance band. Using your other foot, hold it to the ground, and using your working arm, pull and lower with control. You can also use your opposite hand for the resistance. So lower your arm and use your opposite hand to push that arm toward the ground as you work it back up to its starting position. Try to keep neck and jaw relaxed. Now we'll move on to an exercise we call sit to stand. Find a bench, a stool, or a low chair that is a comfortable sitting height for you. Of course, the lower you go, the more challenging this exercise is going to be. Let your weights hover just above your shoulders and sit and stand about 8 to 10 times each. You can also try this on one leg, holding the dumbbell over the working leg and extending the opposite leg to make it more challenging, or drop your weights completely to make this a little bit less intense. Focus on control on the way down and power on the way up. Moving on to standing side bend. Keep your hips and belly button and chest all facing forward as you bend your body laterally. Let the weight of your dumbbell pull you toward the ground, and then using your obliques, come back to your starting position. You can make this more challenging by lifting one leg onto a bench or stool. It's going to be the leg opposite of your dumbbell and your bending direction. Again, we want to move just laterally, so try not to rotate your chest toward the ground. To help you do that, you might even want to peek toward the sky with your eyes to make sure that top shoulder stays open and your chest stays facing forward. To take this up another level, we can extend that top arm overhead. So this really becomes a balance challenge exercise as well as strength work. Moving on to skull crushers. We're gonna lie on a bench or just flat on the floor and keeping your upper arm bone completely vertical in space, lower and return your dumbbells, just moving that lower arm bone. To make this a little less intense, we can lower the dumbbells toward your skull, bend your elbows back to your waist. Make sure that you're starting from a position where your dumbbells are slightly overhead of your shoulder joint. Moving on to pullover, again, we start with our dumbbell slightly overhead of the shoulder joint. So maybe hovering over your chin or your nose. Lower your dumbbell overhead and then return to your starting position. Keep arms straight-ish with a slight bend in the elbow. And again, get a nice stretch through the chest as you reach overhead. You can also use a stick if the weight is a bit intense. So we're using the bottom arm to push the stick into the top hand on the way down, and the top hand to push the stick into the lower arm on the way up. Moving on to donkey kick. We'll squeeze a weight behind the back of the knee in the knee pit area, and then lift and lower that working leg, trying to keep your hips square and not letting them open to the side. You can again do this on the floor, just flat on the floor, on a yoga mat, or on a bench to maybe challenge the balance a little more. Drop the weight if that's too intense, and just lift and lower that working leg 8 to 10 times on each side. For more information about choosing the right weight and number of reps for you, visit us at trainmoveplay.com for the full article and printable guide for this workout.